Are we live, Stan?
We are live, Menace. Welcome to episode 73.
Sorry, I'm over here in the Menace cave. Oh Lord.
How are you today?
Restart. No, snooze. Sorry. I'm on my computer that I never really use. Pretty good.
What
I
is
was
this?
up there.
Coronavirus quarantine, like day 40? Something
Yeah.
like that. We're not dead yet.
Yeah. We're not dead. Yeah,
No.
you ain't wrong.
So, how's things?
Things are going pretty good, we're doing it.
Was today the first day you had the boys in a minute?
No, I had them over this weekend. I wasn't able to see them for a little bit because of everything going on.
A couple days?
Yeah. Well, no, it was like I didn't get to see my boys for like
2 weeks?
Yeah. It's wild.
Was that the longest break you've ever had from them?
Yeah, it might have been. Let's put up a cool picture that's just sitting on my stuff.
What's a cool picture?
I just make it look neat, if you look down.
All right, so I sent Jake an invite. It's up to you if you want to let him know that he's invited.
Okay, well, I mean, he'll probably get it. Well,
oh, you just asked him for his email, so he might be waiting for an email. But yes, we had Chael Sonnen scheduled. He had a little bit of a family emergency at the moment. We don't ask questions. We let people handle their family business, especially in these times.
For sure.
But hopefully everything's okay, and we'll definitely get Chael on again in the future. He's been very receptive to Menace and the Man because, as it turns out, he's a big Menace fan.
I need to blame him.
No, and I think he had a lot of fun when he came on here with us.
Oh, we have a ball.
Yeah, like I listen to MMA shows. Like I know you don't really, like, as a fighter, you never listen to your own interviews. You don't really listen to MMA shows and shit, but I listen to a lot of interviews, and I've listened to a lot of Chael interviews, and we definitely went places with him a lot of people don't go.
Yeah. Little parent talk. Nobody sees Chael Sonnen's father side.
Well, not only parent talk, we were just able to go places that, like, he was talking to, not saying I'm a fighter, but me, I'm knowledgeable about the sport, Wade and yourself, two people that he knows about, has probably interviewed and done a lot of shit with before.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I got my face paint over here. I'm just trying to straighten up here a little bit. I just change the cameras around.
What do you mean your face paint?
Sometimes when I get on Call of Duty, I paint my face in war paint, and when I assassinate people.
Hold on. I don't know why this thing just messed up.
We had 2 live viewers.
Well, I was trying to share it, so I minimized it, and now it's fucking up. There we go. Now it's back. Is it back?
I don't see anything yet.
You have a black screen, right?
Yeah. What are you doing, Stan? Why'd you get out of there?
Now it's back. I don't know. It was fucking up for a second. Because I don't like the way every time I move the mouse, it's like showing where the mouse moves. You know what I'm saying? Is it still?
Yeah.
No, now it's not
there
showing.
It is. We're back.
Okay.
We're back. Lost a viewer because you're fucking around.
Well, I'm trying to share the show, so just give me a second. There we go.
Only if you could talk and like do things at the same time.
Who, me? I definitely can.
Yeah.
I just
No, you never do. Whenever you do things, you like lock up. You're like, hold on.
Computer things, absolutely, because I don't know this shit.
That's what I'm talking about, Stan.
Not some fucking computer whiz.
We should have tried to get DQuat on.
Yeah. See, look, now it like resized.
Let him into the computer.
It definitely resized my whole thing now. Let me adjust this.
Oh, Lord.
I had it all set up so that when a third person came in, we'd be good to go, but now it's all fucking up.
Whoa, what did you just do?
What'd I do? You know?
I don't know. Okay, there it is. Well, I mean, obviously what I'm watching on the Menace and the Man fan page is a little delayed.
Oh, so you're seeing that little
Yeah.
aspect of it. Okay. What is it, like a 7-second, right?
I don't have my stopwatch out, Stan.
Well, even, let's see. Do we have, yeah, this thing's fucking annoying. I'm a whatchamacallit guy better. I prefer Skype over Zoom.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, just because Skype doesn't do this, like all these adjustments and show the mouse like that moving.
All right. Well, you know what? I feel like our viewers at home don't give a rat's ass.
Oh, for sure. But
talk to me about that, Stan.
Well, what were they doing? They were doing UFC. I don't know if they're calling it 249 or whatever they're calling it, but what's her name just pulled out? Amamda Nunes. So you as a fighter, how much time do you need to prepare?
Define prepare.
Like Megan Anderson last week was like, I'll make weight next Friday. So she doesn't really need.
So there's the aspect of preparing for tactical combat, meaning like, all right, I'm watching tape, I'm drilling these drills and trying to hit them live against live opponents that don't know I'm trying to do it to them. My game plan, right? Mm-hmm. And going live and performing these things you're drilling and trying to, which is strategized to being that specific fighter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a cardiovascular aspect, which you don't need anybody to do that. And then there's the diet or there's the making weight aspect, which you don't need anybody to do that. So if you think you're already a fucking bad motherfucker and you could beat anybody, you don't need you just need to make weight and get your cardio right.
Yeah, like that's what me and Chiesa were actually talking about last week because I remember you've said it and I've heard LaFleur say it. You know how to fight.
Yeah.
So if anything, you need to get in shape, and then you're going to show up and you're going to get into a fist fight on whatever date. As long as you're in shape, you're good to go.
Right.
You might not have the sparring rounds, the timing, and all that, but so Amamda Nunes, I mean, not taking anything away from her, she's a fucking killer, world champion. But she said that May 9th was too soon. She wants like the gym. She doesn't want to train by herself and work out at home and then go fight.
Listen, man, she's a champion for a reason. She probably has her own ways about going about preparation for a fight. So
flip side of the coin, Usman. We have to get Usman back on the show, but I saw him talking with Rashad Evans today. He was like, we have to get both sides of the story because you hear Masvidal say that Usman's afraid of him and not taking the fight. Then you hear Usman saying the same thing, that Masvidal won't take the fight. Usman's going way more public with it, so I'm going to lean towards maybe Usman's the one who's more willing to take the fight at the moment. And I'm not saying, trust me.
No, I mean, I don't think.
Masvidal's fighting him in the street right now. But as far as his opportunity for a title shot, he's not taking it on and crash weight cutting on 10 days notice, you know?
Yeah.
At least that's what it's looking like to me.
Yeah, because he's pretty heavy.
He's a big boy.
I heard on the street he was heavy.
He's a big boy, yeah.
And that's why he's like, he needs time to make weight the right way. And especially when you're, you have the opportunity to fight for a title, you don't want to just
jeopardize that.
Right.
shot.
You want to have all your ducks in a row and hit it at the fucking right speed. You know what I mean?
Which I could see. I get that. But
yeah.
So Usman said that initially when Khabib was going to not fight on April 18th, he hit them up like, yo, let's make this fight. And then there was a lot of media back and forth and people saying like, oh, no, I accepted the fight. No, he won't accept the fight. And then they're both posting on social media about who won't accept the fight. But Usman's out doing interviews and saying publicly, I'll fight in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, my mindset, like whenever I was preparing was just like, I don't care. Like when I first started fighting, I was My very first fight ever, without ever having trained, I took on a month's notice.
And even
I didn't even know how to. I did one practice with Joey Gambino, and then that weekend I was signed up for an amateur MMA fight under pro rules.
Yeah, and even you have that.
So I mean, I guess that my mentality throughout my whole fight career was like, "Fuck it."
And you have that.
I'm not gonna die.
That first year where you fought what, like 10 times, 9 times. Yeah. That is an I don't give a fuck attitude.
Yeah.
Like you weren't.
And yeah, I mean, I listen. I'm not saying it's the smartest move. I'm just saying, like, you either sink or swim kind of deal. You know, like I see a lot of people like babying other people's records and stuff like that. It's like, listen, man.
Well, we'll get the flip.
You're either badass or not.
We'll get the flip side of that coin when we talk to Aljo a little later, because he's one of the people that's been speaking out publicly saying, like, don't offer me a fight. I'm not fighting right now. I can't train. But then I also just saw him build a garage in his house or build a gym.
I've seen him being active.
Yeah, no, they've been training in the backyard and shit.
Yeah.
But even so that's like what Chiesa said. He kind of sang that same tune of, I don't want to take a fight. Like if UFC called me right now, I'm not ready to fight. I'm not taking a fight. Like I can't train. I have no path to a training camp. Like I can go work out in my garage, and he's like, I'm building a home gym, and I guess that's what it's going to have to be. But then like Megan Anderson was like, I'll fight next week.
Here's my mentality, right? You can't train because your gym's not available, right?
Yep.
Hey, guess what? Neither can your fucking opponent.
Some people can, though. Like you see in Florida, they have adjusted training right now. So I've seen Hooft in there with 1 or 2 guys, and he's still doing gym time and privates.
Right. So I'm like, if I find out my opponent's doing that, guess what? I'm calling a few of my guys. Like, how you feeling? How's everybody in your circle feeling? All right, let's go out there and let's start training in our little groups.
Yeah, like I think they're even sparring in South Florida in little groups.
You know, I mean, the things I put myself through in a fight camp, the diet, the training, the abuse on the body, and the actual fight itself, I feel like you're more likely to get a lifelong fucked upness than if you get the coronavirus.
Yeah, so we're not getting...
I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm not a doctor.
We're not getting any reply from Jake. Should we just go to Nick?
Let me text. I'll just text him that.
That we waiting for him?
Yeah.
All right, see what he says. Because I figured even if we got Doc or Jake or Craig Jones or Vinny, someone, just so we did our little coverage on Submission Underground, give Chael his little plug, his little props.
Well, I think Jake falls right into exactly what we're talking about right now. You know, I mean, there's a little less risk, I guess, if you will, involved in jiu-jitsu than in a professional MMA fight. But is Jake training with people? I don't, what's he, how is he going about it with the coronavirus,
Yeah. It's crazy.
So, I mean,
I've seen all different. I saw Vinny Magalhaes say that he was risking himself, that he's training right now, all this type of shit.
Your Snap Tap Stan, right? Is that the email that he got sent on, or what?
Yeah. I believe so. No, it would be the man at Menace and The Man.
Okay, well then that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
He should
understand what's
going on. But we'll give him a few minutes.
Well, I just don't want to get backed up and double booked in spots, which we already kind of are at this point.
Fuck it, have them both on. We have Zoom. We can have multiple guests on at the same time.
Oh, I know, but then it's like, hey, we're playing like Hollywood Squares there with strangers then. But I guess we're talking.
No, I think we could get some you would throw out, an idea or whatever.
Well, we're talking fighting. We're talking the universal language of fighting. So, yeah, absolutely. But So a lot of fighters right now are unsure of what's going on. They're all building home gyms, it seems. And then, like they said, there's some that are still training. You know that guy, he's competing at Submission Underground, the guy Richie Martinez, the boogeyman. He's facing Austin Vanderford. He got like a fine for training in his gym.
Wow.
A summons or whatever. He was in his gym doing like an online, like a Zoom jiu-jitsu class, instructional of some kind, and he got fucking a fine and pulled out of his gym for doing what he was doing. And I know that happened down in South Florida with Hooft and all those guys. One day the cop showed up and said, you guys got to leave the gym.
He said he's heading back to the house. Give him 5-10, brother. So we'll kick Nick an invite.
All right.
And then we'll
be like, Nick, you want to just stay on the show with us?
We can.
Yeah, that works for me. I'm sure you know how it is with wrestlers, especially at that level. You have such a close like connection to combat sports and MMA. See, it's doing that friggin' thing again.
What thing?
The mouse. Did the screen change at all?
No.
Looks
good to me.
All right. Well, I was just saying I opened up something to type in his email. And
Don't you have like two fucking computers over there?
I do. What does that matter?
You could have one dedicated to the stream and the other one to the other shit you're looking up.
Yeah, no, I'm sending him an email right now on the actual computer that's dedicated to the stream.
Yeah, what I'm saying is you can use the other computer to do it. No?
I feel like whenever we do it that way, we have a little bit of lag.
All right, whatever. I'm just throwing shit at the wall, see if it'll stick, you know?
It's sticking a little bit. It's sticking. I like where your head's at.
Instead of having to minimize and lose, you know.
But so they're saying fights are coming back May 9th.
Yo, I heard Atlanta, Georgia, like May 7th. They're like, you know what? Back to normal.
Yeah, I don't know. They announced that today that a couple states are opening up.
What are your thoughts on that?
We don't have a vaccine. We don't have... I mean, unless we do, and the media and the news just isn't reporting it, we don't have 100% cure or 100% treatment plan. We have all these indecisive things at the moment.
Like it can't live in the 80 degrees.
Yeah, like usually
it can't live as long.
Yeah, it's not living. I don't know, but then they're saying that it can come from farts now. They're saying that it can come from.
Yeah, I saw that,
bro. But then
I saw that.
Lee Rosenfeld sent me a thing though. He's like, so you're telling me that it can come through farts? It can go through my underwear and my pants. But you're telling me this little mask on my face is going to prevent me from catching it. But it's coming through. It's coming through. You know, it's like we're getting a lot of weird information at this point.
Yeah.
That's what sucks about something like this. That's why they call it the novel coronavirus, because it's unknown. That's what that's where the whole novel expression comes from.
Well, so my lady's mom, we told you got the coronavirus, right? And then she had a fever for I don't know, like a week and a half straight. And then her fever goes down. So we're kind of like, all right, cool. She's in the clear. She's good. And then her eyes fucking like balloon up, like almost like swollen shut.
After she thought she was good.
After we thought she was in the clear. No fever. Just wakes up one day. Eyes are blown up. We're like, dude, what? Like, you good, mom? Like, you know?
Yeah.
And then... So she goes to, she's not feeling well. My lady takes her to,
wow, that sounds like some crazy shit.
Yeah, it takes her to the doctor. She has pneumonia. You know, it's just like, geez.
It's crazy shit going on right now. I mean, the craziest thing is that...
So she's still like she doesn't have a fever, but she's still having like symptoms. Like some like she's not healthy. You know what I mean? She's not in good shape.
Yeah. – Which is fucking nuts. Like, that's what I'm saying. They're about to open up areas of the country, and there is no there's no real protocol or treatment right now that's guaranteed. So it's not like, oh, we're opening the country. I think we're going to, and I've seen a lot of different reports of it, I think we're going to have a crazy second wave. Like today,
Like, didn't China get a second wave?
China, we have no idea what's going on with China. So here, Eric Uresk just said he's ready when we are. So let's want to bring Eric Uresk on?
I mean, he knows wrestling. So listen,
he knows,
when these guys send all the invites out, and when they come on, they come on. Fuck it, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that'll be this episode.
Fuck it, we'll probably get some nice like cross questions. I don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
How's my hair look, dude? I feel like I need a haircut so bad. I gave not only the show was going on, I gave myself like an edge up, you know?
Yeah. Why you were
I edged myself up myself. My hair was going my ears a little bit, like edged that a little bit.
You were looking grizzly.
Oh, I'm disgusting.
Why don't you hit up your boy, what is it? South Shore Styles?
No, what do you mean?
What? The one who cut your hair, Conor McGregor's hair?
Oh, Strong Island Styles?
Strong Island Styles. You should hit him up.
Well, listen, man, I'm not, I don't know.
What?
I don't know what my stance is. Like, I'm not hanging out with people.
Yeah.
But I still go to 7-Eleven like every weekday.
You're going to 7-Eleven? What are you going to
for
7-Eleven
work.
for? Oh.
I get coffee.
Yeah, I think 7-Eleven's like a hotbed.
But the thing is, they say you have to be around it for like a half hour to get it.
Where'd you hear this?
Just to like when I called the hotline at work to tell them, hey, I think I've been exposed. They're like, how long were you around them? I was like, I don't know, 45 minutes. They're like longer than 20 minutes. I'm like, I don't know, like maybe 45 minutes. I had dinner
exactly. Like, what is the protocol at this point? Like, did you see that one thing? The one meme, and people commented, like, there were so many memes about it, like, man, that's some fucking cough or some sneeze. Like, they're saying if you sneeze and you're in the supermarket, your particles
like 2 aisles.
2 aisles. I call bullshit on that. I'm no medical expert. Granted, I've hooked up with some doctors and some nurses in my day. I'm not a medical expert, but that sounds fucking crazy to me.
Yeah. I don't, like, anytime I go anywhere public, I wear a mask, and as soon as I get back to my truck, before I touch my steering wheel, whatever, I fucking hand sanitize my hands.
Bro, my hands are...
And then
I
wipe down my shit.
My hands are fucked right now.
Oh my God, my hands have been peeling.
My hands are fucked right now. They're jacked up from fucking constantly washing them and constantly using antibacterial.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. All right, we'll get Eric Uresk. First one, he's the winner.
Yeah.
Let's see what we get.
What are we asking, Eric? What do you got for him?
Life. See what he thinks about the novel coronavirus.
Oh, Eric.
Well, see, everyone, that's what it is with Zoom. Everyone has to come in, adjust their audio. It doesn't just let you hear right away.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey, what's up, mate?
What's happening?
Eric Uresk, welcome back to Menace and the Man. Long time no see.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So we were just talking, we were obviously talking about the hot topic, the coronavirus. How are things out? You're in San Diego, right?
Yes, San Diego, California, actually, I mean, from all reports, seems to be doing a better job than most places. And the rates of infection are quite low here compared to everywhere else. So, I don't know. I'm one of those people, I'm not bothered by much, you know. I'm bothered by the fact that I can't work regularly. But other than that, I mean, I got 2 big fights in 2 weeks with some of my guys. So that's like my main focus. And it's been stressful, but I'm making the most of it and learning what I can from the whole process and enjoying some of it, to be honest. And, you know, there's some worries, obviously, about the future of, I guess, of our sport and combat
humanity.
Sports. Yeah, humanity, if you care about that.
Well,
so real quick, let me cut you off, Eric. Eric's been on the Menace and the Man show before. Stan, give him a proper intro.
Oh, he's an OG of the MMA game. You're now a coach at Alliance out in San Diego. You've been a coach there in the past. You've worked with a lot of top names in combat sports. And you used to train at, what was it, Phuket Top Team, you were a coach.
Phuket Top Team, yep.
And you're one of, like, the Long Island originals, if you will. Like, one of the first guys around here that was doing MMA, combat sports back in the day. Yeah,
one of the earlier, probably the second generation behind Sarah and Baroni generation, like right after those guys.
So I mean, because you've competed in like every form of mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Like MMA, jiu-jitsu, gi, no gi, fucking judo, wrestling, right?
Yeah.
And you have records? Do you remember all the records of all those things, or?
I have no idea, dude. No idea.
Last time that we had you on, it was when you first had left Phuket Top Team. You had landed back in New York, and you were saying how you were unsure, and you loved that. You didn't know. You had the unknown ahead of you.
Yeah. So it's been a fucking wild ride, man, and I feel like I'm kind of back in that seat a little bit again. So in between there and then I got married.
Congrats.
Thank you. My wife just got her permission to work from the U.S. government yesterday, so that's been nice. She's from Singapore originally, so that's been its own adventure, and then kind of just figuring out where I fit in here. So I'm coaching at Alliance MMA, and I'm still trying to compete in some professional grappling events when they come around and when it makes sense for me. So I've got that stuff going on, and I'm just kind of enjoying life, man. I think last time I talked to you guys, I was so like, things were just like really, really in the air. And I got to tell you, like, even though I'm settled down, it still feels the same exact way.
Yeah. You've always lived that nomad lifestyle though.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be anywhere forever. So,
and then one of the best things that we had since the last time we had you on, we had, a couple of guys, but mainly Jeremy Stevens was the one that we were like, oh, okay. He was like, no, you tell Eric Uresk, hit me up. I got a bed. Yeah. I got a room for him in my house.
Yeah. It was crazy. Now I'm, one of Jeremy's main coaches ahead of his fight with Calvin, and so we got him and Dominic coming up in 2 weeks.
Are they on the same card?
Yeah, same card.
Angela Hill's on that too?
No, she'll be just shortly after, if not like 2 weeks after, I believe.
Oh, because they haven't announced any of the fights, really. They announced the May 9th card. They haven't announced anything past that at this point.
Yeah, well, there's some things in the making, I suppose. So maybe I gave you guys some information I'm not supposed to, whatever.
Give us it all.
Yeah.
It's out there a little bit that they're they don't have they're not releasing the location, but I saw like obviously Dom trains year round, but I saw him like another coach from, I guess, Alliance or someone. He was like running. He had MMA gloves on, and his coach had mitts on, and they were like doing a run. So I guess they were running sprints and then stopping and doing mitt work.
Oh, he's probably with J-Flow. He was probably with Justin Flores. That's Rhonda's judo coach. He was also a pretty good wrestling coach and mixes the judo and wrestling well together. And Dominic does some work with him, and he's a really good coach. So I think it was probably J-Flow.
Yes, I've seen him. He works a little bit with Katz and Gano as well.
Yeah, he works with quite a few females.
Is Kat still out there at Alliance?
No, hasn't been for quite some time.
Oh, okay. She was there for a minute.
You idiot.
She was there for a little bit.
Yeah, she was there for quite a while.
Yeah. So
She's
even
been training with Jessica Penne. Is Jessica Penne not at Alliance anymore?
Jessica is there when she's training. I know she's got other business ventures going on and commentary and other kind of things, I think, that keep her occupied right now. So,
well, they suspended her.
She teaches jiu-jitsu at one of the schools, one of the Alliance affiliates. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, it's possible. That's possible.
So which academy are you at?
I'm at the main one in Chula Vista.
Okay. So yeah, one thing I said to Menace when we were we had a little powwow phone call earlier. We were talking about how when UFC 249 got canceled, Jeremy Stevens, like, when Dana White did a live Instagram feed, Jeremy Stevens wrote, like, yo, Dana, me and Qatar spoke. We're both down. Set it up in your backyard.
Yeah.
Like, we're into this shit.
Jeremy's a fighter. He'll fight anywhere. So he's, man, he looks real good. It's been a real fun process, just fixing some small things with him. And I think at the stage of the game he's in, and with most veterans, it's not going to be any revolutionary new concept. It's just been kind of doubling down on basics, really, and fine-tuning some things, and just, for me, getting to the root of some technical problems he might have been having prior to, and just kind of, playing with that stuff. And I like the finished product that we're coming out with now. So I think if all goes well, I think you're going to see a Jeremy Stephens that will be reminiscent of performances, like looks very similar to the way he looked against Gill, and some of his better performance. He's just moving really well right now, and has a lot of confidence coming behind him. He's in shape. So
what are you working with him specifically? Because I know you're more of like a grappling based coach. Are you working on like wrestling and mat control with him? Are you working striking, or what?
I work everything with Jeremy. I work, believe it or not, I do a lot of wrestling and grappling with him, but a lot of our work has been on the nuances of his striking. So I'm fairly so, mostly known for grappling and wrestling coaching, but I'm really into biomechanics, and so like fixing the way people move on their feet,
right.
Especially striking related. Because movement is movement. If you can move better, you'll fight better, particularly on your feet. And so, when
did that become a thing? Sorry, because I remember you were living on Long Island for a little bit, and I was training with you every week, and then you went to Thailand. You came back with your girlfriend, and you and your lady were doing like some like different kind of like Conor McGregor-ish. The first time I see like movement shit, I was like, that looks weird to me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so. The animal flow and mobility stuff is what my wife teaches for a living. That's not necessarily what I'm doing with Jeremy.
Got you, obviously.
We use those movements to sort of diagnose problems in people's movements, but most of the stuff that I do with Jeremy is just fixing his stance, making sure that the punch mechanics are correct, just very, very nuanced stuff in his psychology, approaching the rounds, making sure that I have him in a particular mind state. I just don't want to give too much away, but it's really, really tweaking very, very small things mechanically and psychologically, just how we're going to approach this fight.
Now, I'm not coming at you. I don't want you to be offended at all, but like, he knocks people out. What are you fixing? Like, you have to actually murder people? I don't.
We're just going to get him to murder people in a more efficient way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you now?
So it's like, we don't want to change. Like, I love who Jeremy is and his fighting spirit, but we can all get better, right? Even if you're great at something, you can get better at it. And he's the thing about Jeremy Stephens is he's super deep in the game, but he's still a fucking student, man. He never he's never too good to learn something.
For sure. That's the best.
It's never even been an issue, where I get a lot of guys that are deep in the game that are so resistant to any kind of critique or change towards their game. It's kind of sad when I see that. When I see a fighter like that, I know that they're on their way out.
I would like to, I've always been a student of the game, but you had to have my respect.
That's
Or you could be even I've watched like amateur guys do something. I was like, oh, whoa, I like that. Like my one buddy, Al Jones, I was watching spar. He threw a right hook very low at a guy's knee. I was like, what the fuck? And then instantly came up with a left hook. It landed. And then he did it again and it landed. I was like, what? And I would use it from time to time. It was just such a weird, I've never seen it.
Does Al still train?
No, I don't think so. I think
he should have kept with it, but I think just he has kids.
Actually, no, because before this whole quarantine thing went down, I followed him on Snapchat. He was making cameos, if you will, appearances at Panza.
Okay.
Yeah, and was putting up highlights of what's to come of his old shit, and I was like, oh, he's having an itch for sure.
Yeah, okay. That's cool.
Oh, 100% itch. Like, I used to help him get fights and shit for a minute. And the talent's there, just unfortunate luck, basically.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Yeah. Like, he had one fight. He was fighting a tough kid from Rhode Island. Al was fucking him up, landing the leg kick, like tore the kid's knee apart, and then the kid just spit down on his mouthpiece and, threw the combo, and Al zigged when he should have zagged. Got hit with a combo, wound up getting a little TKO. He wasn't out. It was a little premature finish, but he did get rocked. And then after the fight, the kid could not walk, the kid that he was kicking.
Yeah.
Like,
sometimes you lose the game and you win the fight. You know what I mean?
If he would have circled for a minute,
leg kick with him.
If he would have circled for another minute, the kid probably would have been like, no, or the end of the round, the kid probably wasn't coming out for the next round. Like, blew his knee apart. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a tough sport.
It is, man. It is.
I forgot you knew Al Jones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on. Did you know Al Jones is older than me?
Really? How old?
Yeah.
Is he older than you or the same age?
No, he's like a year or two older than me. I was like, what? I could have sworn you were like 10 years younger than me.
Yeah, he might be a year older because he's my age, and I believe you're like you're in '86, but I'm the beginning of '86. You're the end of '86.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm old as fuck.
Yeah, you are.
You're aging well though. You don't look your age.
Yeah,
you look all right. You know, that's because my wife's young.
How old are you now?
39.
Yeah, and you never left the gym.
No. I'm in the gym usually twice a day, most days.
Yeah, so, and now are you and Jeremy and Cruz, are you guys getting time in the gym, or are you guys doing like the outside training?
I'll leave that up to the imagination. I don't want having some speakeasy training sessions and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll be prepared.
Yeah, like I think what it is now is you can't just have people in the gym.
Yeah.
So like I've seen, like we were saying, I've seen Henry Hoof down in Florida. He's doing it with He's in there with like one or two guys. Yeah.
We're getting our work in and we're prepared. You know, we're being responsible, as responsible as we can be. But we'll definitely, all guys will be prepared.
Can Dominick Cruz beat Henry Cejudo?
Man, I'm so optimistic about this fight, and I know, like as a coach, like I'm biased, obviously, right?
Right.
I'm preparing the guy, but I love the style matchup. I love. The thing about Dominick, and you could take the Cody fight and I guess look at it however you want to look at it. Was it 100% Dominick Cruz? Dominick probably wouldn't say 100% no, it wasn't. I know for a fact it wasn't. Whether that fight would have been any different, I don't know, right? But that's a way different style matchup than Henry, right? So Henry's so removed and.
Oh, hold on. We're having a little... Can you see us and hear us? You're good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, you just started going in and out a little bit, but you're good now.
Sorry. I think Henry's so good at what he does, but I think Dominick presents the perfect problems to capitalize on where Henry's strong.
Hello?
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Because the thing is where I could see this fight being very interesting is that Dominick Cruz has a fucking shit ton of movement, and it's like you would have to watch. There's actually like YouTube videos on like his movements and why he does things and but like watching that and then reacting to are two fucking different things.
Real big differences, man. Let me
like I can watch it for 3 days straight. Only that video. All right, he does this when he does this. And then he can be in front of me and bet you a lot of that shit's gonna make your body naturally react to what he wants you to react to.
Yeah, I'd say you're correct. It's
so there's that, right? And then Dominick Cruz is a hard motherfucker to take down anyways.
Mm-hmm. And then you gotta hold him down. That the thing is, you might be able to take him down, but you gotta hold him down, right? You gotta hold him down. And the thing about Dominick is, and this is where it'll be interesting. You gotta outwork Dominick, right? And man, is he hard to outwork. Mm-hmm. He is a hard fucking guy to outwork. And look, I mean, you can judge him off his last fight, which was a long, long time ago. He's been out for a long time. I mean, say what you want. He came back in that first fight with TJ, and however you saw that fight, it's a brilliant performance to come off a 4-year layoff straight into a title fight with the PED allegations aside or facts at this point aside. One of the best bantamweights of all time in TJ, and Dominick outpoints him and gets the win. after a 4-year layoff. That's pretty incredible. And the mental fortitude and just the absolute power of belief that you have to have in yourself and able to do something like that, to me, is like, I don't know that can be replicated too many times from too many different people.
Yeah. Yes. So I think you have pros and cons to both those things, right? So I told you some pros already in terms of, in Dom's favors, in terms of his movement. He wrestles he can wrestle, you know what I mean? You said he's hard to take down, and he's a hard fucking worker. Like, you can't out him, if you will.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people are probably thinking, and what I'm kind of thinking, is like, he's got shit knees, which means he can't train as hard as he once has. Time is not on his side. He's been out, for so long, you know what I mean? Which it's a double-edged sword, because when you've been out for a very long time, I think you kind of can contest this a little bit, like, you get this fucking hunger back, and you start missing things that, like, you thought you never would miss.
Yeah.
And I think that they were like, title shot. He was like, ooh, you know what? I am feeling good enough for this.
Well, he gets up. I think the thing about Dominick, right? And think about this. How many guys, and take the financial motive out of it, right? So financially, there's probably a lot of people that would step into that fight just for the money. I don't think that's Dominick's reason, right? Dominick is doing this for legacy. And, like, how many guys are willing to come off another huge layoff right to the best guy in in 2 divisions, right? So to fight the best guy in 2 divisions after this, and this isn't the first time he's done this. He's done this before, you know? So, like, he knows he can do it. He knows he can have a long time off. He's so mentally strong. He doesn't allow himself to believe in ring rust. He doesn't give himself any excuses or any outs. And so that's not just going to guarantee him a victory, right? Absolutely. Like, Henry should be favored in this fight if you're looking at paper and just, he's been more active, and he's got obviously the accolades behind him, and he's done some really incredible things in 2 divisions. But this is Dominick Cruz that is healthy, and pretty fucking determined, man. And just don't be surprised. By all means, put your money where you think it's smart, but do not be surprised when Dominick pulls off another huge upset and wins his 3rd title.
Stylistically, they're made for each other. Henry stalks people down and goes forward. Dominick's a counterpuncher. Like, even we had Michael Chiesa on last episode, or I was talking to Michael Chiesa, and he said that he had some intel from Dominick Cruz, who is long overdue to come on Menace and the Man. We'll have to work that out one day. But he said
tell him I sent for him.
He said that Dom shouldn't have even been in that fight versus Cody Garbrandt. Like, and even now you're seeing he hasn't fought in 3 years, so he definitely had some shit going on physically. He hadn't fought in years, or fought once in a couple years, and then that one fight he did was what's his name?
Mizugaki.
Yeah, so he had like a break, then a fight, then more injuries, then he fought 3 times in 1 year. So 3 hard training camps. I know he had, what is it called? Plantar fasciitis.
Yeah, it was tearing the bottom of his feet up pretty bad.
Yeah, so he had a lot of shit going on. So now he's just really well rested. And he's still young. He's not, what is he? I think he's like 33 or 34.
34, I want to say.
Maybe 30.
I think he just turned 34 in March.
Yeah, even if we're wrong and we say he's 35, you're not that old yet. You're not there, he still physically can probably do some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's in that era with Aldo, Faber, and Chad Mendes and Joseph Benavidez.
Yeah.
Where all those guys were at title contention, but they just fucking can't get it. It's just like, they used up their rounds, if you will.
Cruz had it, though. Cruz was the guy. He beat all those guys you just mentioned. Except for Aldo.
He beat Aldo.
He didn't beat Aldo, but that's because they never fought. I think stylistically...
He didn't beat Chad Mendes.
No, he didn't.
Different divisions.
I know that.
But
that's why I'm fucking with Stan.
I heard Alpha Male. He beat everyone from Alpha Male that he fought.
Yeah, up until Cody.
Except for Cody.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying, is like the elites of that era
have those older guys used up their miles.
Yes. So here we have Nick. We have Nick.
Well, we're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out. Yeah, we're gonna find out. Hopefully, hopefully.
Eric, have you ever heard of, how do you pronounce his name, Menace?
I don't. Nick, I always call him Gwiz.
Gwiazdowski. Gwiazdowski, the
yes, Gwiazdowski.
Yeah, he's a world bronze medalist, I believe.
Would you like to?
Kid's nasty. He's about to come on the show.
You want to stay? Yeah, you want to stay
yeah,
on?
Love to, man. I'm a fan.
All right, we'll bring him in. But yeah, I was telling Menace, and I was telling Michael Chiesa, I'm a huge Dominick Cruz fan. He's probably my favorite fighter.
Right on.
Like, you know, back in the day and just over the years, he's one of my favorites. What do we have? We have Nick's balls. Oh, there we go. Now we got his head.
With his balls.
No, that's my legs.
Yeah.
Let me see those things, dude.
You want me to go back to my legs?
Let me see those. Let me see. No, I want to
Would
see
you
your
like
balls,
that?
dude? Come on. There it is. Sticker mule. Wow. Wow.
What's going on, guys?
Just
How are you?
hanging out.
Nick, how do you pronounce that last name? That's a tough one.
Wazowski.
Gwiazdowski, yeah.
Gwiazdowski. So Nick
I drop out the D.
Nick Gwiazdowski, welcome to Menace and the Man. That's our boy Eric Uresk. You know Menace, Stan the Man, and now we finally are joined by
Stan the Man and Eric. How's it going?
by
Eric the gentleman.
Now what's the nickname? It's Gwiz?
Gwiz works, yeah.
All right, so we'll go with Gwiz.
I was looking. I've never actually looked at my spam folder on Gmail. I thought everything shows up like under the ads and stuff like that. So
Oh, your porn showed up on there?
I was like, how do you find your spam? And I saw it and I was like, oh shit, you emailed me 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I
I
sent
didn't
you.
think it'd be spam. Like I figured it was legit email and stuff.
No, you
So
know what
could
it
be
is?
dangerous, so.
If you never exchanged an email with the person, that's usually how it goes. It goes into your
Well,
spam
lesson
folder.
learned.
Yep, now you know.
So real quick,
You guys are viewed as dangerous
Stan
people.
gave Eric an intro. I'm gonna give Nick the intro. What was it? You're a bronze medalist, world medalist. Was that last year? 2 years ago.
Not last year, 2 years ago.
2
17
years
and
ago.
18.
And then
2017.
the way I
18, yeah.
know Nick is me and him went to the same wrestling club in Albany, New York, Journeyman Wrestling.
Yes,
So
many years ago.
Yeah, so I think I was in college. I came back to, give back to the club a little bit, and you were like a sophomore or a junior.
Yeah, probably either sophomore or junior. Yeah,
And
I think it was when you were just starting fighting, maybe, or maybe you were at Bloomsburg somewhere in there.
It might have been. I might have been fighting at the time, but yeah. So Frank Popolicio, who's the owner of Journeyman Wrestling, was like, "Hey, this kid's a stud. Like, get some work with him." I'm like, "He's pretty big," but I just got in there and fucking pulled on his head for fucking as long as I could. We had a pretty good go, and then we became buds, and I watched him throughout the rest of his high school career, like crushing it. And then he started wrestling for what was it?
Binghamton first.
Oh, you're at Binghamton first, and then you went to. You followed Pat.
Yeah, went to NC State with Pat. Yep.
Did you go to Binghamton because Pat Popolicio was at Binghamton?
Yeah, he was there for 1 year when I was there.
Got you. And then he left, and you followed him to NC State, became a national champion, and then twice. And then
your introduction.
Your
intro sucks, Menace. That was a horrible intro.
Fuck you.
You're like asking
He's
him
a
for the
badass
details.
fucking wrestler on the Olympic ladder who you qualified for the 2020 Olympics that are now canceled, right?
Yeah.
That was a better intro.
I wanted to get you on here and talk about that, man. How the fuck your first Olympics you ever qualify for? Like, hey, your whole life's work, yeah, we're gonna cancel it.
Yeah, so it kind of how'd it go? Like I qualified the weight class. So USA is still going to the Olympics at my weight class. So at the Olympics you have to qualify the weight classes. So not every country gets to go. And I qualified that like the weekend that all this shit started to happen. It was at the Pan Am qualifier, North and South America. We were up in Canada.
Yeah.
So I won that tournament to qualify the weight class. Then 2 weeks it would have been the Olympic trials where, you find out who from the country is going. But then that got chopped.
Who's your toughest opponent? Kuhn right now in that weight?
No, Kuhn actually last year he didn't wrestle freestyle.
Just Greco
or maybe
now,
he did wrestle freestyle last year. But he's not qualified for the trials in freestyle. He's just going Greco now.
Okay.
Gable Stevenson out of Minnesota has been he was number 2 last year, and Tony Nelson out of Minnesota, and Penn State's got some guys, and Don Bradley's still wrestling. So it's a legitimate crew of people. All weight classes are in the Olympic year. Like there's only 6, so guys consolidate in and get in. So
now, Nick, you follow MMA at all? You're an MMA fan?
I do. I enjoy my MMA for sure.
All right. Well, that's who
His
Eric
boy,
is.
dude. His boy is a scrap.
Well, Menace fights. I was going to tell him something about Eric. So Eric's an OG in the MMA game. He's from Long Island, and he now is in San Diego. He coaches and works with Dominick Cruz, Jeremy Stevens, a lot of solid pros.
Darian Caldwell, right?
What'd you say? Oh, what'd you say, Nick?
I said Darian Caldwell too, right?
Yeah, Darren used to be out there.
Is that where
he's gone back to his original gym in California. But we also got Phil Davis, another stud wrestler.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Phil.
Yeah.
When was Phil's last fight?
Bellator.
I know
Bellator.
that, but when?
Not long ago.
Not too long ago.
But even, and he's like a staple at Alliance, Phil Davis.
Yeah. Yep.
It's almost, you don't realize how involved he is with the gym, but then I see him constantly, he's almost in everyone's video. Everyone who posts a video on social media, Phil Davis is in the background.
Yeah.
Phil Davis is actually one of the people I spoke to when I started getting into fighting. Hey man, see you're fighting. And my mom knows your dad, and what's up, dude? What do you think? He's like, yeah, come on down to Nitty Lions MMA or whatever.
Wait.
Yeah, he was in Pennsylvania probably at the time.
Your mom,
yeah, he was.
Your mom really knows his dad?
Yeah.
From PA?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. But yeah, Phil Davis is
Phil. We gotta get Phil on the fucking show. My last fight, I saw Phil in the locker. I'm like, dude, we need to get you on the show. He's like, dude, for sure.
So from Alliance, we've had on Eric, we've had on Jessica, we've had on Angela Hill a few times, we've had on Jessica a few times. We've had
Joey Beltran.
Joey was amazing. We love Joey. We got to get Joey back on. We've had on Joey actually sang your praises as well and had some funny stories. And then we had Jeremy on. So yeah, we got to get Dom on. I know you said Katzengano's not there anymore, but Katzengano's someone
need to
on
get
the
her
list.
on.
Phil Davis.
Miles Jury.
I'd love to get on too. I really want to get Del Fiero, but I don't. He doesn't do interviews. Right?
He's tough to get on camera.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. He doesn't like to do interviews.
Nah, he's not big on. He's just he's not in it for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's one of them guys. What is Nick gonna get into fighting when he's done wrestling? That's what I'm curious.
Ooh,
I'm a huge wrestling.
he stole my question.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks fun. It looks enjoyable, but I just don't know if that's something I want to do. A couple months ago, when the UFC was here in Raleigh, I had tickets to it. We went, watched. A couple of guys worked out in our wrestling room beforehand. I'm like, I don't think this would be too hard to start to pick up and learn, which I don't want people to think I'm taking away from those guys. I think it's definitely when you're at the elite level, it's an elite skill.
It's a rite of passage for a wrestler. When you're done competing in wrestling, you go, you know what? This MMA thing's still here. I still want to compete. Maybe I'll try this shit out.
Especially at heavyweight, the way he moves really well for a big guy.
Oh, my God.
He would fuck people up at heavyweight.
That's what I was thinking the same thing. For example,
stuff like that. I will admit, it is very intriguing. Just to give it a go, and almost I don't know, Askren did it a little bit, but just do it for a couple years, and then, of course, you say a couple years, and then it turns into 10 years. But just do it for a certain amount of time and see what you get out of it, whether it's a lot of money, or just to kind of test yourself in a different field. But it interests me, but at the same time, there's other things I'd like to do too. So I really don't know. I'm still like, I'm 27 now. But I'm in good shape. Nothing hurts on me or anything. It's just if I want to keep wrestling, or if I want to, learn MMA, or if I want to enter the real world in some other aspect.
Yeah, because the thing, like for me personally, when I got into MMA, it was wrestling kind of got taken away from me. I knocked up a chick that I thought would have my kid, but I really didn't knock her up. It really wasn't my kid. So whatever, that happened, and then that cleared up. And then I just needed an outlet. I had this like chip in my shoulder, because when you're wrestling and someone looks at you in the bar, you're like, dude, I'll fucking double leg you and fucking kill you. Like, you don't even like kick rocks, But I remember like not training and not competing. I'm like, what the fuck are you looking at? Like, you us? And then when I started training again, it was gone,
Like you thought you were washed up.
And the thing is, at the time, it was just like, I'm just going to do it for fun, just for something to do. And then I started smashing everybody in the gym. And I'm like, what? You compete? Oh, okay. And then I started competing. I'm like, wait, you can get paid? And then I start, and then, 10 years, then I'm retiring from the UFC, so.
Yeah, like when you show up with a wrestling background, day one, you're a blue belt, purple belt. And you're gonna give problems to good guys.
No, he is clearly an elite athlete. So someone like Eric, if he steps into Eric's gym, Eric's like, oh, I'm going to give this guy the attention he needs. I know I can mold this guy into a goddamn killer.
Doors open, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to sound rude when I say this, but I feel like so many people that go into MMA with almost no I don't want to say professional sports background, but like high level athletic background, then there's so many things that like I see happen in UFC or Bellator or other fighting outlets. Like, how does that happen? How are you not like prepared, like either physically, or how do these things happen if
like guys getting tired?
Yes, like how do you, like, dude, you knew this fight was coming for 8 months. How did you gas out in 10 minutes? Like, that's crazy to me.
So you definitely have to try it, because I remember
there's a lot to it.
Yeah, like my buddy Mike Cease was like around a 12 like 2 times, 125 pounder. He could duck anybody. He was really good. He beat guys in the top 5. But then I watched him one time mount a guy, punch the guy. His arms, the guy somehow got out. He couldn't lift his arms. His arms were completely smoked, and the guy beat him. I was like, what? So this guy is a round of 12 wrestler, fighting amateur, went 2-2. I was like, I don't get it.
I think the mental stress of an MMA fight is different than a wrestling match, though. Like, wrestling's harder, but for sure. Wrestling's the hardest sport there is, for sure. I think fighting is the most stressful, though.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Right?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? Right?
Yeah,
so
1,000,000%.
A wrestling match is hard, and wrestling is the hardest for sure. Like, if you go through a college wrestling season or a freestyle season where it's just a day in, day out grind, that shit is fucking hard. Fighting is hard, but it's not that hard, right? But it's way more stressful, and there's just way more on the line in terms of, well, your physical health and like your ego and identity, I think. Because it's a fist fight.
Fighting can be hard.
Yeah.
It can, yeah, absolutely.
Like, I remember my fight with Mike Rice. 2 fucking elite wrestlers were like, it was a wrestling match, but fighting. That shit, I was like,
that's shitty. You should get paid extra for that.
Oh, well, I did. We got the bonus.
That's good. Yeah.
No, I enjoy, and there's a lot of things I don't, I can't account for because I've never done it. But I don't think like a lot of people say like, oh, dude, the training's way easier. It's nowhere as hard as wrestling.
It's not.
And stuff like that. Like, you have to walk around and stand over in a wrestling stance for 2 hours.
Yeah, but it becomes, what's hard about MMA is like wrestling. You just wrestle every day, where you just get so conditioned to wrestling that you could fucking you can do it like with your eyes closed, you know? And then with MMA, it's like, where do I put, it's like,
MMA, you have too many tools to learn.
Well, no, you have 4 buckets. Where do you put all your rice? You can't fill every bucket to the top.
Yep.
Where do you put your rice evenly, you know, for you to have the best? So it's a weird.
The most in each bucket possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you don't spread that rice equally, you're going to have a weakness somewhere.
I have a theory about that in training wise that I start to do with guys now. If you're not in fight camp, like fight camp, you're putting everything together. But if you're not in fight camp, I think you should be periodizing your training, like heavily focused on like boxing or heavily focused on grappling for blocks of like 3 to 4 or 5 weeks at a time, so that you can really build those individual skill sets and then have a cycle where you put everything together. And I think that's the way to get the best at each individual thing. You can't stay awesome at everything all the time, but you can build the individual skill sets by making an in-depth study at them. So if you can't wrestle, your ass needs to wrestle for a 6-week block and like nothing else, or even longer.
What do you think? Let's say there's 4 or 5 buckets. Like in my head, there's a wrestling bucket, a striking bucket, an endurance bucket, and probably a jiu-jitsu bucket. Do you think there's another bucket?
I kind of had the boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. Those are my buckets.
But boxing and kickboxing go hand in hand. What do you mean?
Not really.
Can you fucking inflict pain on the guy?
Nah, you can either you have good hands, or you have no kicks.
You can separate the two if you want to.
No boxing, just kickboxing. Because I've watched kickboxers just throw hands before.
Okay, so you're saying kickboxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, but even then,
I'm saying
the same way.
Striking.
Wait.
I'm saying striking. Striking.
The same way we're combining striking, we can combine grappling.
Yeah, but
I'm saying wrestling is taking the fucking guy down to the ground. So you can put like wrestling and jiu-jitsu and control.
But wrestling is also riding.
Yes, but I'm talking about jiu-jitsu in terms of like breaking limbs and choking people unconscious.
Sure.
That's
so you're saying
yes, they can be kind of mixed a little bit, but because you can drill submissions all day, and you know what I mean, and off your back.
So you're saying how many buckets exist?
I'm gonna say 4. There's like strength and conditioning. There's submissions. There's striking, and then there's takedowns. Right?
I think
I didn't give them like real like wrestling.
The only thing on that is the two things on what Eric said with his periodization of training. I agree with that, because when you learn skills, you spend a lot of time learning skills, and you can go away from that skill, and your brain is still working to figure out how that skill is executed. Like, you may not have the footwork or the hands or the correct technique. It may feel very weird for a time, and then you go away from that move and come back to it weeks, months, however long later, and you start doing it, you're like, wow, this actually feels pretty good. Mm-hmm. It's something I've recognized a lot in my wrestling, and I've read about it in a couple different books, where like your brain is still in the back of your mind, you're not thinking about it, but still trying to figure out how that works and what it can do to figure out and make it work. So that time off, even though you're not doing the move regularly, you're still getting better at it in a way, just because your brain found this problem and it's trying to figure it out. But as for the other bucket, you say the strength and conditioning, endurance, I feel like maybe that should always be there. I don't know.
That's in every bucket.
No. Hang on. You can attack that bucket by itself, but sometimes you can fill that bucket by doing the other 3 buckets hard.
Yes.
Like if you lift and those things, I think that should always be there, just because that's kind of like your maintenance and staying healthy.
Yeah, but hang on, Nick. I'm gonna from being in there. Sometimes I'm like, man, I don't fucking feel like lifting right now because I have to spar later, and I want my sparring to be fucking on point. So there's this weird.
Well, even Nick. Long story short, Eric's out in California, San Diego. He's waiting to train you whenever you're ready to get your first fight in. Me and Menace are starting to put on shows and we talked to Eric about maybe coming in and competing. So we'll do your first amateur fight. You get 1 or 2 amateur fights with us, then you go pro. Or you just go pro.
If I'm fighting amateur, it's going to be with Cage Wars up in Schenectady.
No, come down to New York City.
Whoa. I mean, hang on. I mean,
do 1 and 1. 1 with Cage Wars, 1 with us.
Hang on. I'll throw a goddamn promotion up in Schenectady for him. He wants to be in his hometown, dude. He'll sell that mother out.
There's already they got a good promotion up there. That's been selling out.
Cage Wars is great. Cage Wars is a great amateur promotion. I've seen a lot about them, and they have the northern New York State on lock.
Yeah, my buddy Tommy Marcelino is an owner in it. And I went to one of their shows, and it was like, I don't know, the casino was sold out, so it was maybe 1,000, 2,000 people ish in the ballroom, and it was like there's some trashy fans, a couple strippers
I was gonna say trashy girls. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, it was a great show. I had a hell of a time. There was an illegal knee to a grounded opponent. There was a couple big knockouts. That's what I want to see in my amateur MMA. I want to see a guy, get gassed out and then come back. I want to see a guy get his ass beat the whole time and then, land a big strike. That's what I enjoy watching. It may not be great technical fighting, but it's good entertainment value.
So like we've had Bo Nickel on the show. He's going into MMA when he's done wrestling.
That's a problem.
Nick Piccinini just decided he's going to AKA. He's getting into MMA after his wrestling career. So it's a rite of passage for wrestlers.
Let's get an Olympic medal first, though. I'd like to see him get an Olympic medal first because he 100% can.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
I'm with you with that.
Yeah.
So after you get that Olympic gold, MMA is waiting for you.
Well, real quick, Nick, what the fuck is going on in the OTC right now? Where I remember, like, when I was coming up through high school and even in college, like, we weren't going to tournaments and dominating like we are now. Like, you're on the podium for first. I mean, we got we're 4 or 5 weight classes. We're like on the podium hard, if not taking first. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are they doing over there?
Yeah, we won Worlds a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going on at the universities with the regional training center model that's out there, with the universities having clubs and donors supporting the athletes. And
there's more volume of guys?
A volume, but also your quality of guys. Now your top level guys, if you want to make money in the sport, you don't have to be an assistant coach anymore.
So here, Menace. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Nick.
Yeah, send them. Bring them in.
Aljamain and Jake Ellenberger just showed up on our thing. Do we just bring them in, throw a party here?
Yep.
Can I ask a question real quick before?
Yep, go for it.
Has the training methodology changed too? Because it seems like we used to have the Dan Gable, kill yourself every day, and guys were just burning out real fast. Whereas it seems like guys.
Hang on, can you read? I want to get those other 2 guys in there. I want to tell them the topic, and then I want them to have input on the same. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Bring them in, Stan.
They're coming. There he is.
Who we got here?
What are all those containers behind you?
G Fuel. Oh, yeah.
Aljo.
Yo. Aljo, what's up, big dog?
What up, fellas?
Do you know the Olympian down here, Nick Gwiazdowski? I put the Z in there.
Hey, it's a holiday. We're celebrating on this side.
Oh, Jake Ellenberger. Do you know Rick?
Wait, that's Jake?
Gwiazdowski. Yeah, we got the gang in here, dude. Hang on. So he's qualified for the 2020 Olympics. Obviously got canned. Team USA is fucking crushing it right now. And Eric Uresk had a fucking dope question. I wanted you guys both to hear it so you guys can, have an input on it as well. Go ahead, Eric. Crush it.
Yeah, so my question to Nick was, do you feel like the U.S. success has been because the training methodology is trained to, it's not the Dan Gable kill yourself every day method anymore, where it seems like a lot more technical, the way the guys train in Dagestan, it's a lot more technique based. And you see USA wrestlers wrestling through positions better. And it looks like they flow a lot more looser in the exchanges now.
Yeah, I have a couple theories on that. So I think, yes, with everything, we're much smarter in our training now. And we have our better athletes are staying in the sport longer. Our development at younger ages is far higher. So we're sending guys consistently to the cadet world championships, the juniors, the U23s, and they're winning medals. So those guys are coming up through and either at the senior level or pushing the senior level. But then the other part was the rules that they are now, the 2-3 minute periods.
Right.
This is like the best possible rule set for us. This rule set is very fair, and it matches our style of wrestling well. It takes the official out of it for the most part. So it's a combination of things, but those are kind of my biggest things. And just like all sports, like people are getting smarter in their training. You know, you realize you don't have to go for. I rarely have practices that are 2 hours. You know, my norm practice is an hour 30, hour 35, whistle to whistle. You know, so stuff like that. You know, you become to you understand, like, you got to have your hard days, but you also got to have your easy days. I don't need to go in the wrestling room and you know, get in wars with guys every day. But if I get tested every now and again, maybe once a week or so, that's fine. I don't need to get in a war with another guy that weighs 275 pounds 3 days a week. That doesn't help me.
Yeah.
So
Jake and Aljo, when you guys were wrestling, how was your guys? I mean, I feel like you guys were the same like era as me. It was like fucking go your hardest every single day.
Yeah, we got a lot of guys. They never made it to nationals because of that. I feel like we always had a lot of
burnt
injuries.
out by the end.
Yeah, they burnt out or they get banged up during the season and they peak during the middle of the season as opposed to towards the end where it really counts, you know. And obviously, like Nick said, you have to have those hard days. You have to push yourself and test yourself mentally when you get in those tough situations and those matches. But at the end of the day, even like for MMA, like now you see a lot more guys doing touch sparring, kind of like the Thais do it, as opposed to just beating the crap out of each other. Guys still beat the crap out of each other on a regular basis, but
because me and you've done both. We've done touch. Let's move around. Let's work. And then we've had, hey, you're trying to kill me. I'm trying to kill you. But the thing is in terms of touch sparring, you could only do it with certain people. It has to be this like, hey man, we're just working. Because then you get some guys that the gym heroes are like, you're touching, they're like, oh yeah, we're doing that. Like, like, whoa, dude. I always loved working with you personally because you could just get some good work in.
It's a good flow. You know, you could get good looks. Same thing for wrestling. You could get good looks. People could give you looks for potential opponents that you might be facing in tournaments and stuff. And I think when you have a partner you can trust who's educated just like you, it makes it a little bit easier and a lot safer for you on the body. But sometimes I come into the room, I'm like, yo, today's a hard day. Or if we're sparring, I'm like, we're going to go. Or today's a hard day. I'm just going to push myself. You could try to take my head off, but I'm letting you know I'm trying to take you down as many times as I can to try to exhaust myself. And that's the way I try to tailor my training. So I agree. I think us changing our style of wrestling definitely plays a big benefit compared to the guys who are international, where you see those guys just so lax and you're like, yo, how do you guys wrestle at such a high level and this is how you train? But we're programmed to train like that. So it's good to see a little bit of a switch up, and now we're starting to really push through on that level.
And we still have our kind of core values of going out there, controlling the ties, setting the pace, but we are much better at getting out of those control ties. Our overall stance and position, where we would previously get exposed on some things from foreign competitors, but also after we won the Worlds in 2017, there's been a little bit of a shift. Our coaches have said, our national team coaches, because they study this, and it's like there's a different the foreigners now, when you go out there, they're sharper, they're more ready. It's no longer like, oh sweet, I got the American, this will be easy, he'll just go hard and I'll beat him here, you know. And it's they're more focused on us. They know we're going to come out harder in certain positions, in like beginning of the matches, stuff like that. So yeah, they're definitely more prepared too. They recognize it. and it's things other countries are doing to prepare for us as well.
So,
when you show up on their radar, you're doing something right. You're getting
Yes.
you're getting their attention.
So here, real quick, Menace, we got to almost do the introduction. So we got Jake the Juggernaut Ellenberger coming in and joining us. We got Aljamain. I'm gonna. Your name's not the Funk Master no more. It's the Tool Man. Aljamain the Tool Man Sterling.
Why the Tool Man?
Because he's been.
Makes to fix it,
bro. Every day I look at his stories and he's like, "Yo, I spent the whole day or the whole night watching fucking how to do things videos on YouTube." And then I see him doing shit. So me being a carpenter my whole life, I see Aljo spackling, sheetrocking, laying down flooring and shit. He's doing big things over there.
Oh, he's doing it.
Yeah. So Jake and Aljo, welcome. We got Eric Uresk. So Gwiz, bronze medalist in the world's Olympic wrestler. Eric Uresk,
big heavyweight.
Yeah, big boy.
Big heavyweight.
Eric Uresk, Long Island legend, MMA fighter, coach at Alliance, coach at Puka Top Team. So now we got
Alliance MMA.
Yeah,
Stan. Who are you though?
Ah, damn.
Who am I?
Yeah, who is Stan?
Stan the Man. I used to train.
He just rides my coattails.
Not at all.
It's Dennis's water boy.
So I've trained my whole life. So I've trained with Aljo. I used to train with Eric back in the day, and I used to choke Menace out in practice.
Never. But Stan is the reason why Menace and the Man's a thing.
Menace beat me one day. One day, ever.
And then from that day on, I beat him every day after that.
No, one day, ever.
Anyways, who's watching Submission Underground this weekend?
I have one question.
All right, go ahead.
For Nick, what was one of those positions you were talking about that I guess the foreigners would typically capitalize on like U.S. competitors?
I think honestly it's probably control ties, 2-on-1 wrist ties, underhooks, positions where if you hang out in too long, you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah,
those type of things, and we've been getting a lot better. And I don't know, it still happens to me. When I wrestled in December, I got my ass kicked. I let a guy leave an underhook in too long, and blew the match open.
Now, real quick, I got another question, Nick.
Yo.
Obviously I didn't wrestle on your level, but I wrestled some international. I never locked hands with an opponent like this. I see like those Russians doing all the a lot of guys in like these like mercy hand ties. I would always grab wrists.
Yeah,
I see this a lot with you guys. How's that even happen?
Yeah, I don't like doing that. But I don't know. It's like they do it and then kind of leaves it up to the ref for who to warn, and then they'll come in and try to slap the hands. And then while they're doing that, they're plotting to do some other shit.
Because they use it as as a pull down, right?
They're up to something. Huh?
They use it as they interlock their hands and they use it as a pull down.
Yeah, like a snap, or just wait for the ref to come in and then they act like, I don't know, he grabbed my hand. Point at him like, dude, you're full of shit.
Anyways, this weekend is Submission Underground, and my main man, the homie, Jake Ellenberger, is competing.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Is that a forehead scratch I see, Jake?
He's training.
Is that from training or a kid did that?
Cut a fingernail across the forehead, so I get banged up. I get more banged up wrestling than I do any MMA sparring training. Just wrestling, grappling, I get way more jacked up.
So with the quarantine going on, what's the
All right, it's my 2-year-old.
Yeah, dude, I just take my kids. I give them the rock bottom, the choke slam, and the power bomb. Oh, and the fucking remember the Razor's Edge, Ramon, Razor Ramon. My kids get Razor's Edge all the time. Yeah. That's actually my favorite.
Torture rack. I give them all.
Yes. Well, they're not quite long enough to get the full torture rack. There's like around my neck like a scarf.
Yeah.
So. But anyways, what's training been like for getting ready for this?
Yeah, it's been weird the last few weeks, but I've been doing a lot of garage workouts. You can get a few guys. Gyms are all shut down, so it's get a few good drill partners, good guys like technique. So I've actually been training a lot with Robert Drysdale. He's been awesome. Nice. So we get some good training, good rounds in. So preparing for this weekend, but Yeah, man, it's been fun. It's been good.
So the jiu-jitsu for you just like fucking around? Is it like, hey, you gonna try to attack this as like a little side career on top? Well, last time we talked, you actually had your hands in something else.
What help me out. What
I forget. Last time remember Stan, last time we had him on, he was like, no, man, what I'm doing right now is like, you know, I'm gonna make a pretty good living. And
I think he kept it secret.
Oh, he had something brewing, right?
Yeah, he had something brewing. It's been a minute since we had Jake on.
It's kind of, but yeah, I do. I'm a partner like in a payment processing company. It's not really the most exciting. I enjoy it, but it's a, you know, financial kind of services type of business. But you know, that's like talking about that's kind of like talking about watching the paint dry. You know, it's not the most exciting, but
if it pays any bills, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's true.
Especially post-fighting career, because that's obviously something that a lot of fans and people wonder about is where do fighters go once they're done fighting.
Sure. Yeah, but I mean, even this grappling too, like Chael puts on a great show. For me, it's obviously a lot less stressful than a fight, but
yeah, for
sure. I'm coming out to win. It's not, you know, let's just see what happens. It's like, no, I'm coming out to win. It's like, you know, I mean, there's a lot, like I said, a lot less things to worry about, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun competing in it, though.
Now, I know he hasn't put out the location. Are you in California or are you in Oregon?
No, I'm in Vegas right now.
Vegas. So is that where this next one is? Or we don't know?
No, it's in Oregon.
Oregon, yeah. So how are you getting there? Flight?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The last time I flew there was one other person on my flight, one other lady.
So you're definitely planning on, you know, sleeping on all three of those chairs. That was my favorite thing, getting on a flight and nobody sitting next to me. I'm like, fuck yeah, fucking lay down this bitch.
Yeah. And they got to be, I mean, think about how much money they're losing. A flight from here, a 3-hour flight, like 2 people on it. It's unreal.
So now even Aljo, I remember we were going to potentially get you to grapple for us before this quarantine fucked everything up. Have you spoken to Chael about jumping back on a Submission Underground?
I mean, we were talking about something in the future, but nothing came to fruition because the coronavirus came out and started attacking everybody.
Bro, they shut us down. We were thinking after April didn't happen, we were like, yo, maybe we'll go for May 30th. Right after Labor Day, a nice weekend. And then, who is it? De Blasio said, nope, no events in the 5 boroughs till July. Yeah. So now we're like, all right. And even if you're going to be that first event in July, you're doing it in front of 100 people. Nobody's coming out for that first event. We're going to be guinea pigs at that point.
Go up to Saugerties for an event.
Hey.
It's not a bad idea.
Go up to like the Elks Lodge in Saugerties or something.
I think he's on something.
But yeah, even that. So Jake, once we get something going, we'd love to have Jake Ellenberger. We talked to Eric before, and we talked to Aljo. Nick,
I was down till the virus hit.
Bro, we were. So obviously, you guys know, like an MMA fight, you want 6 to 8 weeks, 12 weeks to prepare, but a grappling match, 3 weeks. Yeah, a fucking week, like a couple days. So we were waiting for like that couple weeks before the match to start putting some shit out. Like we were going to do Aljo. We had maybe Pedro Munhoz. We had.
Didn't he say he was down?
Brian Kelleher. We had a couple guys that we were like,
Didn't Munhoz say he was down?
Munhoz was down initially, but then he booked a fight that wound up falling out because of this whole coronavirus.
I would have loved that because we fought and it was all stand up. And then for us to grapple and actually see who's a better grappler, that would have been some fun. But fuck, man, yeah, that would have been a good time.
So now, Aljo, how were you and Munhoz? It was good or bad blood, or what's the situation there? Because he's a cool dude.
Bad, no?
No, he's a cool dude. After both of our UFC debuts, after the fight, he fought Rafael Sunsell short notice. I fought Cody Gibson short notice. Obviously, he fought a much higher ranked guy, and it didn't go his way. And we talked about potentially training with each other later on. I fought Mizugaki 3 fights later, and we were talking about doing a video together, breaking down that technique. Me going out to Cali, getting some work in with him. And then next, you know, a couple of years later, we're about to fight each other. And then I remember him and the whole thing with him popping for something and his whole camp. There was like 4 people, Kevin Casey, him, and like 2 other people. And whatever. I think Anderson Silva was one of those guys. But whatever. I just said someone asked me about it. I said, yeah, I don't know whatever happened with that. And then I guess he heard about that from an interview. Someone was starting shit, one of the journalists, and it just caught a little fire, caught a little wind, and it just spiraled out of control. I was like, I don't hate the guy, but the facts are the facts. You got caught with something. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was intentional. I don't give a shit. I'm just asking whatever happened with that. Kind of got swept under the rug. He served his suspension, and no one ever talked about it again. So after he got pissed off, I was like, you know what? Maybe I just keep poking the bear and see what happens. And he got.
Was he ranked above you or no?
No. I think we were like
5 and like close.
5 and 6, yeah. And he was ranked 5th because he just knocked out Garbrandt, and I think I was 6 or 7. So I would.
Wait, you're pretty good at that. Like if someone's like above you, you're like, hey, you. You wanna meet? No? Okay. How about now? Yeah.
I think I do it in a playful way. I don't think I'm ever like.
No, I agree. I think you're pretty good.
And some people are like they get super sensitive about. Like I just realized I got blocked by actually your guy Dominick Cruz, and I was like, he blocked me on Instagram, blocked me on Twitter. I'm like, dude, I wasn't even talking shit to you. I was talking shit to Henry Cejudo. It was kind of at his expense, but I was like, dude, if Brutal Man Cruz can't make it, just hit me up, and I'll take on that guy, Triple Clown or whatever. And I guess he saw a couple of those posts and he didn't like it. I mean, what do you want me to say? If I don't know, this is the fight game. I thought he had the most thickest skin out of everybody, and whatever. Long story short, Pedro and I are good. It was good to have a little animosity, blown up get some eyes on the fight, and I think we went out there and we both put on a really good show.
Yeah, because I definitely put a little fuel out there. I was like, so he beat you in that MMA match. You want to try and beat him in the grappling match? What do you?
But even so, we usually have people on that we know a little bit, and we have some type of correlation with. Menace fought them, Menace trained with them. I know them a little bit, or it's like someone that like we almost like just relevance. So we got Pedro Munhoz. I was like, yo, Menace, you know him? He's like, no. I'm like, the only connection we really have to him is he fought Aljo. And then he came on. He was one of the coolest motherfuckers we ever had on.
Yeah, he was pretty.
He's a cool dude.
Like he was a cool dude.
We took a picture in the hospital together. We were both of our legs were banged up to bits, and I popped the capsule on my left thumb. So it was fun, man. When you have a fight like that and you guys both go after it, no one quits, no one's giving up. There's always a mutual respect. And at the end of the day, he's chasing the same thing I'm chasing. I have no animosity against none of these guys. Yeah. But when it comes to signing the dotted line, and we're gonna have to pump the fight up, if you're not willing to do it, one of us has to. And
for sure.
Yeah, so I mean that's just my personality. I never have any hard feelings towards it, and I like a little banter because now it gives us a little bit more of a wager to fight for. Because now it's like bragging rights. Yeah. And some people don't like it. Some people think it's not cool or is disrespectful to the yards. I mean, to each his own. I think it's like being in the backyard playing a pickup basketball game. Right. You guys shooting the shit like I'm gonna get you or you're gonna get me. It's fun to me. It's just more consequences. We're just really beating the piss out of each other.
Yeah. Like, I mean, because 4 people in this room have fought. But all of us, except for Stan, has come from a wrestling background where there is really no shit talking. If you do talk shit, you're like the fucking villain in the fucking gymnasium.
Yeah, I kind of
that guy gets fucking packed.
That's why I like Thomas Gilman.
Why? Wait. Nobody talks shit in wrestling. People talk shit in wrestling.
Not really.
Nah, it's looked down on, man.
Not really, but now I feel like now there's kids that are getting a little bit more cocky. You got that kid Nick Soriano. You got the Gilman kid.
Wait, who's the other kid? Who's the kid?
Palacio.
Who's the kid going through it with Gordon Ryan?
Yeah, Pat Downey.
Pat Downey.
Yeah,
bro, that dude. Yeah, he talks shit.
But I think those guys are all MMA fans, and they see MMA guys kind of doing it, and they're trying to take it into their sport.
I'm not agreeing with it, but I think it makes it more exciting because the match has more weight. It has more weight.
I like it, yeah.
Now you're
glued, you have some personality. You know?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is like I'm happy. Like for me, like just I tried it a little bit and then I lost. I'm like I can't do it. It was just too much pressure and like I just because I remember being like Conor McGregor, he fucking sucks, and then I was getting ready to fight
Lamas,
and I'm like. He's not faster than me. He's not stronger than me. He can't take me down. He can't submit me. How does he win? Someone played that clip of me saying that, and then he jabs me, I drop, and he chokes me out. I'm like,
yo, even that, like, so Menace
the internet wins.
Menace is like dumb humble. And then when you were fighting Lamas, they had that video on like Embedded where you were running on the treadmill and you were like, who's running as fast as me at this high altitude? Nobody. And you started naming names. And then as soon as you fucking lost to Lamas, it was like, oh man, like that's coming back.
Yeah.
That's
From there, I was like, let me just be me. I'll just be a funny goof and I'll fight people. That's gonna be my thing.
You guys know though, you get caught. It happens. If you talk shit, you get caught sometimes. It happens.
And it's funny. Anything you ever say that is, it's always going to be recorded. They'll replay it 10 years later, and you're like, you got to be kidding. I've had interviews where I've said something that I don't even remember saying. Like, we're talking like in like the back room behind a curtain, and somebody's like, it's on YouTube, before a fight. Like, what?
Yeah.
When was your UFC debut,
petty,
Jake?
Journalists in MMA. There's some like real petty journalists. Like,
Joe, journalism's horrible. We're not MMA media. I said it to Megan Anderson.
Two guys talking.
I said Megan,
and you're in it. Like,
Menace hates when I say this, but I said it to Megan Anderson last week. We're just two idiots that get people on and we ask them questions. Don't consider us media or journalists or anything like that.
I just like shooting the shit with the guys, really. I think have guys on. Let's have a little gym talk and then fucking. Hey, good luck on your fight coming up, your competition.
Something media does too. They'll play the fence. They'll be like, "Oh no, Aljamain, so you're fighting so and so. We think you're gonna win this fight." Then they'll get so and so on and be like, "We think Aljamain's a very good opponent for you, and you're gonna win this fight." Like they talk out of both sides of the mouth, and they'll say the same thing.
I'm a big. As much as it probably doesn't help me in what I do or stuff like that, it's like I just keep my mouth shut. I'll show up and I'll wrestle. I'll give it my best, but I'm not gonna, say something that isn't me. Because then, like what Dennis said, was like, that's not me. So why am I acting like something that isn't me? Then it's just cheesy. Sure. Like look at Henry. Like,
oh man.
Like dude, like. You're all he does is just piss people off by being so cringeworthy. It's like, Henry, that's not fucking you, dude. And
that's not him though. That's a character.
But the thing is,
it's just so not natural. It's like, dude, I'm not gonna spend my time trying to be some villain or shit.
Aljamain's got to deal with that shit every day.
I'm gonna be.
Man. I got his post notifications on, so I just chirp him every time he posts something. I just chirp him.
Bro, the world we're in now,
that's a full-time job.
It is.
But the thing is, like, from where he came from was such an honorable. I mean, what he's doing now, hey, he's still, he's a champ right now. He fucking beat some really good guys. Like, he works. I mean, he's a good fighter overall. I'm gonna sit here like Aljo's my boy. I want him to fight and do well. You know what I mean? But
I mean, look at like
where he came from, like running around with the flag to like what he is now. It's like, what the fuck happened?
At least it never would have funny,
Yeah.
But hang on, the thing is listen, he's trying to make money and he's doing a good job with like people watching like, man, what the fuck is he doing? I want to see him get his head knocked off. They're still tuning in.
Yeah.
So Jake, are you still watching fights now that you're retired?
For sure. Always.
So we'll go around robin real quick here.
Okay.
Obviously, May 9th, Dana says he's putting on a card. Dominick Cruz versus Henry Cejudo is one of the fights. Who do you got in that?
Did they make? Jeez, I didn't even. I gotta.
On the spot.
I mean, it's hard to.
You can put two up. You can put who you want to win, who you put your money on. Sometimes I do that.
Well, I mean, listen, Cejudo knows how to compete, man. He steps up. He does. Cruz, world champion. Like it's a tough one to call, to be honest. Really is. If Cruz at his best, man, he can beat anybody. I think so.
So you didn't answer the question.
I was gonna say
just because
you could play the fence.
He's
if
a little
you want
younger.
To. It's a big chat right now. You can play the fence.
Watch this.
So Nick, Cejudo, Dominick Cruz. Who do you got?
No Mr. Feeney's.
I'm gonna go Cejudo. I haven't seen any of them fight in a mad long time.
So you're going with the wrestling buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with him just because he's kind of beaten a lot of guys lately. And I don't. When was the last time Cruz fought?
4 years ago.
Yeah, 2016. End of 2016.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll go Henry. And I watch fights, but I don't. If they're not free or if it's not like a big card, I won't watch it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
You're not going out of your way to make sure you see it.
Yeah. That's fair.
Eric, who you got?
I mean, I'm going with my guy. You know what I'm saying?
Obviously, yeah.
Look. Henry should be the favorite, right? And he should justifiably be the favorite. Just don't be surprised when Dominick pulls some magic out of his ass, because he's done it before after a 4-year layoff. It's like that kind of, like I said earlier, that kind of mental toughness to be able to come off 4 years against the top guy in the sport at that weight, right, is pretty amazing. And if you can do that once, you know what it takes to do it. You can do it again. And I think just don't be surprised. Dominick will go to those dark places, and so will Henry. I think it's going to be who can go like a little bit deeper. You know, it's going to be who can outwork who. I think in this fight it's going to be a battle of workhorses. You know, guys with heavy output. So it's I'm excited for the matchup. I feel real good about it.
And it's definitely easier to earn a title than to hold a title.
For sure.
So now, Aljo, you might be fighting the winner of this one. Who do you got?
Hopefully. I mean, we never know. I mean, it's the Dana White show, so I just sign the paper and fight who they tell me to at this point. But it's a good fight, very competitive. Like Eric said, I wouldn't be surprised if Dominick comes out and pulls out some crazy shit. Here's my breakdown. Dom's not the greatest jiu-jitsu guy, so if he does get one of those awkward takedowns, which he's very good at, where he mistimes, he hits the misstep, and he switch stances, he throws the right hand, he weaves under it, almost like a duck under. If he does get one of those takedowns and manages to get behind Cejudo like he did Mighty Mouse, and he takes him down, then what? You know, it's one of those things where he took Mighty Mouse down multiple times, and this is just me breaking down the assessment from what I've seen from both guys in the past. He had a hard time keeping Mighty Mouse down, and I would imagine that Cejudo is going to be just as explosive, if not more. He's had more time to train. I think if Cruz were to win, he would have to finish him early. I just can't see him going 25 minutes the distance if Cejudo could put on the pace like he did to Marlon in halfway through that second round, and of course in the third. Early on, I think it's going to be dangerous for Henry in the beginning. I think that's where Dom has to really open up and land some strikes that can really slow down and make Henry respect him. But if not, I think the latter rounds, you have to go with the guy who's been in a full training camp this entire time. I think that's the big X factor. And we saw Cruz fight pretty emotional against in his last outing, and he did say that his foot was a big hindrance in that. And hopefully his foot is healed up. I would like to see a real competitive fight. And again, it's a short notice fight, so don't expect what the guy could do in such a short amount of time, especially during a quarantine period. I don't know who he's training with.
But go play the game out
got some good guys around him. And if I have to pick someone, I have to go with the favorite. But again, I would not be surprised if Cruz can pull something out.
I'm doing this. Hey, buddy, come on, go watch a game, bud. You guys are killing me.
I couldn't see him submitting him. Please stop. But I could see him maybe punting Cejudo's head.
But just go watch your game out there. I gave you the phone. Please, buddy. Come on. Come on, Slade.
Jake, just bring him on the podcast. We'll ask him who he thinks is going to win.
Oh.
What do you got there, Jake? You got all boys,
Sorry
right?
about that. What's that?
You got all boys, right?
I got 2 boys and a baby girl.
Oh. So how old's the baby girl? The baby girl's new.
8 months.
Okay, so yeah, we haven't had you on in
new,
about
yeah.
8 months.
Yeah.
Okay, so congratulations on that.
Yeah,
Oh,
congrats.
thank you. Thank you.
Dan, who you got?
It's one of those ones
Mr. Know-It-All?
where I'm actually rooting for Dominick Cruz. I would love to see that story of you haven't fought in 3-4 years and you come back and win, but I think Cejudo is going to win. Who do you got, Menace, with your fucking G Fuel tower?
Yeah, I got a G Fuel tower. So what? You jealous?
Yeah.
He is jealous.
So here's another aspect that I haven't brought up yet is like, and I'm sure, Eric, Aljo, Jake, you fought someone where you're like, this guy is not my level. I don't really have to really prepare as hard as if he was, you know, the title holder for, you know what I mean? It might, like, there's a chance, you know, Henry's been the champ for, you know, like, really? You're going to give me this guy on short notice? Like, he may come in and take him a little bit lightly, which would be a huge mistake. But
I don't think he's doing that, though.
I don't think so either. But what I'm saying is it's
like, even we had Eric Albarracin, Cejudo's coach. They like flew people in. They set up like an in-house training camp. They built, like I seen Aljo, you just built a home gym. They built a home gym, and they were training at home during the quarantine or during this whole thing. So he's been getting some type of reps in.
Yeah. It's a tough fight, man, for both guys. I mean, you got the size factor of Dominick Cruz and the speed, and you got the explosiveness of a guy who's really short to the ground. He's a 25er by trade, but, you know, him coming up a weight gives him a little bit of advantage in the speed department. But a guy as rangy and as long as Cruz, awkward movement. As long as he's not fighting to Henry's game where he's like running in like he did against Garbrandt, I can see him having a really good early first few rounds. And if Cejudo can weather the storm and put on a tough pace like he did against Marlon Moraes, I can see him coming back and winning. But again, if he gets too behind on the scorecards, then Cruz can win it. You know, it's a good fight for both guys. I'm just super excited because you got the GOAT of the bantamweight division versus the new king of two-weight classes now. And, I mean, he's beat some really big names. So this is a fight that I think everyone's going to tune in for 100%, especially with the headliner of that. Of
it's a legacy fight, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, it really is. Passing of the torch, or does the former king come back and reclaim the throne?
Speaking of legacy fights, is there any truth to Aljamain Sterling versus Frankie Edgar?
I don't know. I don't think they're gonna give me that fight. I mean, I would love a fight like that, but I don't know if it does anything for my career. Besides just fighting a legend in terms of the rankings, you know, he's not ranked. He hasn't fought at bantamweight yet, and obviously that doesn't really mean much.
Yeah.
For him, it's a high risk fight, low reward, in my opinion. For him, it's a high risk, but it's still high reward for him. He wins, he gets in the title.
So you're saying for you, it's high risk, low reward.
Yeah, because if I fight another guy who's actually ranked first, second, third, or fourth, it makes more sense than fighting a guy who hasn't fought in the division. You know, it's
but we're seeing with 135, the last two guys, Aldo and Cruz, to get title shots, they both had losses. You haven't had a loss in a minute.
I think I'm doing this all wrong. I think I'm doing this completely all wrong.
So you beat Frankie Edgar, and you're almost maybe then guaranteed a title shot.
He beats Frankie Edgar, then Frankie Edgar gets a title shot.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's fucked up. Because even I heard they were trying to give you Sandhagen. Then they had Edgar and Sandhagen booked at one point. Is Cody Sandhagen just going to swoop in and take this fucking title shot?
Well, it was supposed to be me and Edgar at MSG, but I already knew I couldn't fight in New York. They said they were going to work on it and they were going to get the ban lifted for me and I would be able to fight there for the medical reasons. And of course, it didn't happen. I postponed my surgery because of fucking Frankie Edgar, which pissed me off. And because of him, I'm taking a lot longer to recover. It's not his fault, but because of him, technically it's really because of him. You know, they dangled the carrot. Oh, you can fight Frankie Edgar at MSG, sold out arena. Frankie Edgar, king of New Jersey. Me fighting from New York, it would have been a sold out. It would have been crazy. Not saying because of us, but the other fights as well. But, you know, that didn't happen. Then he got booked up with Sandhagen. He pulled for that fight, went up to go fight Korean Zombie, got starched, and now he's back trying to come back. So it's like you almost lose a little bit of the aura of beating Frankie Edgar. So it's just been a big shit show with the 135-pound division and even the 45-pound division, man. Everything's been crazy.
Well, yeah, they were going to get rid of 125. Then 135 got sent into a whirlwind when Dillashaw popped.
Yeah.
And now you got Cejudo. Yeah, and even
Dillashaw, not Dillashaw,
Dillashaw. Also, they want Conor McGregor type people. So that's what they want right now. They want like the shit talk, the move the needle, as you say.
Yeah, one thing that I think the UFC is doing wrong in terms of their marketing. For example, right, we've been in quarantine. There's nothing going on. They just keep putting highlights of fucking the pioneers of the sport, who everybody already fucking knows. Like, why are they not pushing someone like Aljo that, like, obviously,
because then they gotta pay him.
Yo,
Right?
one of the best.
Yeah, like you just mentioned this Sandhagen. I was like, who the fuck is that?
Who the,
Yeah, and that's why I don't want to fight him because nobody knows who he is, and he does not talk at all.
That's what I'm saying. He's coming
And
out
he's
of nowhere,
fighter.
and he's getting Edgar. How do you get offered Frankie Edgar, but they're not just giving Aljamain Edgar?
He's a good fighter, man, and to fight a guy with no name who's ranked 4th in the division, what does it do for me? It's like it does a lot versus the rankings, but we all see the rankings don't mean shit. So I'm in a catch-22 position, man. It's just very, very weird. It's like the Matrix.
Even another thing I saw, so we're talking about videos the UFC post. They posted Phil Baroni beating Dave Monet. Every comment was like steroid era. Steroid. How juiced up is that fucking guy? Every single comment.
I almost got into a fist fight with Baroni and Phuket.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Go
on. We're listening.
Eric, that's what we wanted to talk to with some street fights. We would love to hear that.
So he came to one of my grappling classes at Top Team, and I was kind of trying to be real nice to him. Do you know what I mean? Because I could tell he hadn't trained in a while, and I'm catching him with some stuff. He gets real upset. Mind you, I'm like a week out from a fight, right? It was a couple of years ago. He like tries to can opener me. He's a bit bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a 45er at the time. So he tries to can opener me while we're grappling, gets up, and like I guess he wanted to try to swing on me. And so we had like this. I'm like, what the like? I got a fight in a week. I'm cutting weight at the time too, right? So I'm cutting weight. I got nothing in me right now, and I'm just playing with him. He gets all serious and tries to have a fist fight with me. I'm like, first of all, I'm the head coach of this gym, and you're here to train here. It was just a bizarre. And then he tried to fight me at a Thai food stand like a week later. He was still upset about it. Then he had like an emotional breakdown, wanted me to be his coach and like help him out, and then somehow got in his head that I was against him and went on like these internet tirades. It was just nonsense. Like I think if Phil and I see each other, it's definitely going to be like an on-site situation.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's like, man, I'm well past that, but just for my own safety, like it's going to be an on-site situation just because that motherfucker ain't stable.
Oh yeah. Well, even Eric, something we wanted to even ask you: have you ever had any encounters with Vinny the Chin?
Maybe when I was bouncing in the Hamptons, I might have.
That's why I was asking, because he was the Neptune's legend or Long Island legend club guy.
Yeah. Might have had a couple run-ins when I was bouncing, but nothing that. I mean, man, it was thousands of people every weekend, so
you might have dragged him out one night.
It's very possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So even, I mean, we can keep this going, or if you guys all got to go, we don't want to keep you guys too long, but we could obviously always talk fighting. We'll get you guys all back on again.
Yeah, I'm about to go eat some food, and I'm about to put down some Don Julio. Let's go.
So Aljamain the Toolman Sterling, thank you for joining us. Jake the Juggernaut, thank you for joining us. Good luck this weekend. Choke that dude out.
Good luck.
Cheers.
Is Chael coming on next?
Whoop, whoop.
Is who?
He was going to, but he
Chael had a family emergency. We'll leave it at that.
Sent to the ER.
Oh shit, son.
Yeah.
You guys stay safe, stay blessed.
Oh, even that. So Aljo, we got to get you back on again, maybe next week or the week after. We heard your lady had corona.
Yeah.
Menace's.
Yeah, we'll touch on that.
Yeah, Menace's lady's mom had corona. So you guys both are probably built up with those antibodies or some shit. Or the cure is in your guys' blood.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Hey, good luck to you guys, Eric.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
I think you're gonna be tuning in for that.
Good chatting with y'all. Dennis, Stan, thanks for having me on. We'll do it again sometime. Let me know.
Gwiz, 100%.
Yeah, I want to hear a street fight you've been in before. Next time we have you on.
Me?
Yeah, next time we have you on.
Yes.
I've never been in a street fight.
We're going to plan this better so that way next time we get you all individually. We just figured for this episode we'd throw you all on together.
I thought this was fun.
Oh, my God. This was amazing. Bro. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I got to learn how to check my spam.
Yes, that's what happened is Gwiz didn't know how to check his email, so we wound up with everybody on at one time. But that works, you know. We appreciate you guys for the time. Eric, you're the man. We'll talk to you soon.
Right on, brother.
Good luck. See you guys.
See you guys.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
I don't know how to kick people, so it's all when you hang up.
Hang up on us. Well, I'll just hang up on you, Stan.
Get it done this weekend, Jake.
Hey, man, it will do, brother. Yeah, let's do it again, man. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties too.
Oh, no
You're good,
problem.
dog.
By technical difficulties, do you mean kids?
Well, that too. I come home and of course, it's kid disasters and everyone's screaming and shit. But the whole spam email, I got it now. We're good.
Oh,
We're good.
so it went to your spam as well.
Yeah. I was like, fuck, I'm waiting for it. I'm refreshing. Like, what the fuck? All right, we're good now.
But yeah, you're in the three timers club now, Jake. We've had you on 3 times, so we got to make this more of a regular occurrence. It's been 3.
Hey, anytime, man. I'm always in. So it's fun. It's fun chatting with you guys.
All right, we hope everything's going good, and we'll definitely talk to you soon. Good health to you and the family.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate it, guys. You too.
All right, peace.
Stay safe.
All right, Stan. Great show. What episode was this?
73. It was definitely an interesting episode that we were just like, fuck it, let's put.
We'll get some feedback from the viewers, and maybe go about it this way. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, no, I think what we also did too tonight is we just bombarded people. We're like, yo, you're coming on for an interview. Then we're like, you know what? This guy's on the interview with you. You know what? These other 3 people are going to be on the interview with you.
Yeah, but that's gym talk.
Oh my God.
I'm talking to you. Someone was like, what?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, me too.
Exactly like we said. We were all able to bounce the conversation. Me and you did a great job jumping it around. We're getting professional at this point.
Thank you.
So, Menace and the Man, episode 73.
Well, see you later.